Welcome to Gelball Nobody, the worst hand model on the tubes. Courtesy of AK Gel Blaster and AK Gel Blaster AU this time with a neat little thing for this neat little thing. These cute little hop-up barrels. They're 7.5mm inner diameter. You can see the barrel's been machined out at the end to make two hop-up tongues, and then they've got a sleeve around it so you can get a grub screw and adjust it. The bottom is just a normal barrel, and up top is machined a few grooves in. Now, you're going to first want to remove your muzzle device, which just screws clockwise, and that'll come off. There we go. You can see the barrel's pretty short. They're about 11cm barrel in these things, whereas the hop-up barrel's 145. So yeah, pull the stock all the way back, and you'll be able to see these two screw holes down here. There's two Phillips head screws. I'm just going to unscrew those. Use something magnetic and you'll be able to get them off. Just two screws. Nice, easy. Unscrew them, and if you have a magnetic screwdriver helps, or just get a magnet. You can wiggle them out, but if not, use a magnet. It's easier. It's way easier. Just use a magnet. There, I got the screws out. There we go. To get the stock off, there's one pin just here. We just got to punch that through, stick it on here, and push. Gentle tap. That'll pop out. These pins are captive, so don't pull them too hard. They'll sort of stop there, and look at that. Make sure your battery door's up so you don't pull it off when you pull the stock off. And there's your stock. Gone. We don't need that anymore. We'll come back to that when we put it together. Punch this front pin out. Again, it's captive, so it won't come all the way out. Neat design. When we get the upper off, be careful of your wires back here. There's a little section cut out of this top plate for your wires to run through. Something to note for when we put it back together. We slide this forward. Remember to keep your upper receiver as close to the lower receiver as possible at all times. Yeah, there's our little wireless channel. We'll come back to that on reassembly, but this will sort of come forward to about where your selectors is, and you'll have to lift it up gently, just enough to clear the selectors. And then again, as we come up here, we'll get to the fake bolt release sort of area. This is the main section. You want to keep it as low as possible so you don't rip your mag prime switch wires, which are just there, and there's not a whole lot of room. If you lift it up, you can chop them, you get a short. You don't want that. Don't ruin your stuff. Get it all the way to the end, and we should be able to just tilt it forward gently, taking care of your blowback plate. There we go. Got it off. Look at that. Right. There we go. Upper receiver off. Yeah, here's our T-piece in a barrel. We just pull that out. Look at that tiny little thing. It's so small, so cute. It's only slightly bigger than my longest finger. It's about 11cm, so it's pretty short. If you've got a good grip like I do, just grab it and pull. There you go. If you don't have a good grip and you don't care about the barrel, grab some pliers or something, rubber mat or something, wrap around it, give yourself a bit of grip and just pull it out. They're not glued in, they're just a friction fit. These are reasonably tight, so easy. Time to put a hop-up barrel in. So standard barrel, 110mm or 11cm, or 3 rods to the hog if you're imperial. The actual barrel on the hop-up version is 119, and then you got the hop-up on the end, so it does make it a little bit longer and give you a hop-up. Might give you a few more FPSs. These are a little bit looser, so we're going to have to glue them in. I recommend gluing in barrels anyway. Yeah, standard one is 9.46, and this one is 9.43. You wouldn't think 0.03 of a millimetre it's going to do bugger all, but it's the difference between a friction fit and just falls out. Look at that. There you go. This fucking focuses. There you go. Do that. That's actually machined the inner barrel itself to make a hop up. And then this sleeve, you can see the little hole where the grub screw goes, and that'll push it down to give you more hop effect. Cool design. I'm pretty impressed. Righto, let's get to glues and fine. We'll glue a hop-up barrel in. This piece needs to be at the top, because that's our hop tongue. Down the bottom's just smooth. Put on here, bang it in. It's not as tight fitting as the standard barrel, because it's a little bit, but the main challenge is getting it in and straight. What I would recommend
is give yourself a bit of room, because that goes in that much. So we put a bit in, then we can run glue around here and just push it home. Good theory, I know. I'm going to do my best to make this straight and nice, because with super glue we only have seconds. I would recommend epoxy. Gives you a little bit of time to work with it. I just ran out yesterday, so haven't gone and got more, so I'm going to use super glue. Also, super glue is what most people probably have. So there's our hop up. Look down there, pretty much bob on. I use the gel because it doesn't run away on you. And I don't want to use much, so I'm kind of just painting a thin strip around. And now I'm just using the tip to smear it the whole way around, because we do want to seal. Now, one last check. And that is fucking in there. A little bit of tissue to wipe off the excess, and we're fucking done. There you go. One hop-up barrel. We'll reassemble, spring on. Bit of luck, the glue will hold it for next time. Chuck your barrel in, dush, dush, dush. Yeah, getting this back on. These are the wires you got to watch out for, and these. You'll notice on mine I have some tape around it. That's because I'm an idiot. That's why I show you guys how to do things after I fuck them up. Get your door out of the road, which does help with gravity, but for the purpose of demonstration, I'll struggle for you. So, slide this down here. There's our mag prime switch up the top, so you don't want to bump that. You do have to watch your bolt cover, because that'll try and impact in here. So, at the same time, get that down in there. Can kind of slide angle, slide it in. There we go. Now, slide this along here. There's your ambi selectors and stuff in the way here. Sorry, there's something in the road there. There's some slightly lift, gentle. You want to keep this section all the way to the bottom at every moment possible, and still holding it downwards to keep that door out of the road. Rides up over this stuff here, that's your selectors. And when it gets a little bit tight here, again, lift the rear up, and it'll slide back to about there. Now, before we close this all the way, these wires, hold them in your little channel, slide it past, and you do want to make sure this is the screwdriver that comes with the hop up, so we'll use that because that's what yours will have. Keep that to the inside. Wires are capped you up there now because we're back far enough.
Get ready, everybody.
And
he's about to do something stupid.
make sure your T-piece is sitting nice and straight with the blaster, and this should just slide in. Ah, something to be aware of. We get to do it all again. Back half of the T-piece comes apart. A little bit of glue wouldn't go astray. Once it's in there, everything pushes together. It's fine, but for now it comes off. Bit around and in there. A little bit of lift up around that fake bolt release. A little bit of lift up over the selectors. T-piece is still one piece. It's a fucking bonus. Over the selectors. Wires in there. Come back that little more. Oh, we've been lucky it's missed it there. That's fucking brilliant. And once it's back to here, you know, I got big hands. You might not, but push that back, pin in. Got one T-piece, got a hop-up barrel out the front. Let's get the stock back on. Remember, you got 2 little screws. I'm going to use a magnet. Push. Now, for this bit, you want to make sure your wires are out of the way of this pin before you proceed. Makes things a bit easier. Hold your door and your wires up out of the road. Put your stock in the right way. Of course. Yeah. Push pin through. Stock's almost on. Now I'm holding this tight. Don't want to use the screws to pull it tight. You want to use your fingers. And get that one in but not home. Alright, now this one we can cinch up just a little bit. It's only going into plastic. It's a self-tapper. And we're done. Now my hop-up barrel is glued in. That's how far it sticks out. Yeah. Easy, right? I can do it. You guys will have no problem. I haven't got a grub screw in yet. That does stick out a bit. I like to keep things hidden, but I did also want to keep it compact. But, you know, you want to hop up, them's the brakes in this game. 20 mil. Actually, it's more because I've got this little crush nut. Actually, I got fuck tons of these. Might put them on the store. That crush washer with O-ring and a 20 mil extension. Honestly, just get a 25 mil extension. It'll be easier. I just use that because this is the only extension I got at the moment. Tighten that on if you don't want to adjust things, but I suspect you might. Do that. Mint. Generally speaking, you're going to want to adjust things. There's my grub screw. Dush. There it is. That's the grub screw. The little tool I just used moments ago. It does come with this awesome little Allen key. I'll probably be carrying that around on fields now. Nice and easy and not one of those stupid L-shaped things. In the hole, you're going to want to support your hop up, give pressure that way, and screw it in. You also want to keep things as straight as possible. Gentle, constant pressure. Because we are basically tapping our own thread. Oh, you can see the tongue moving there. Because the grub screw sticks out a bit. Oh, that's a nice tight fit. If you're wanting to retain the standard muzzle device, that just needs to go in that little bit more. Now that scratching is the grub screw. What I might do at some point is drill the end of this out and repaint it, but there you go. Crush washer, 20 mil extension, or just a 23-ish mil extension. Beautifully hidden. Doesn't change the look too much. I would like to get another extension that's not wider than the flash hider. That just looks weird. But again, them the brakes, that's what we've got. OCD, just get those tabs so they're nice. Look at that. I'll try this out at some point. Alright, that's mine back together. Hope that was helpful. Hope you don't fuck it up. Probably have to get some T-pieces in just so people can swap and change. If you don't use much glue and you use that method, the glue will only be around the end of the T-piece. Worst case scenario, you'll just scrape the end out, a little bit of a trim. It'll all go back together, it'll be fine. Yeah, it is what it is. This is why I fuck with my shit before I fuck with your shit. So I can do your shit right. Righto.
Done.
Oh yeah. Thanks for watching. Hope that helps you get yourself a nice little hop-up barrel inside your APC-9K. I have tried this out. Impressive for such a short barrel. Barrel length effective volume now it's about 8-9 mil more than the standard one. Stock this was doing about 220 feet a second. With just the barrel change, getting around 225. And with that hop-up,
just focus. Feel free to any time you want. That works really well, like just neatly in there. Probably a little bit over hopped. It sort of zooms up a little bit more than you might like at, 20-25 meter mark, but pretty impressed with straighten distance and whatnot. Yeah, get them up here if you got one of these. Well worth it. I was already pretty impressed with the accuracy on these little bastards, so having that little hop up, getting more accuracy and more range, pretty nice. Get them up, yeah. If you got any questions, find me on the Discords, the Facebooks, the Job Blaster forums, blah blah. I'm around. I'll talk to you, I suppose. Thanks for watching. Check them out on AK Job Blaster and AK Job Blaster AU. Check these little things out. Love these. 10 is coming. Chill out. They're coming. Got a few blacks left. They're disappearing though. If you just want one, get one while they're hot. Only got 10 coming next. Ooh, the tan looks sick though. Very happy. Black actually has grown on me, and maybe I want a black one. Anyway, hope that helped. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Blah blah blah. There'll be a build video on not this one, another one soon. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. See you next time.